What's up, guys? Hey, it is a new day, and we have a new administration here in the United States. I know a lot of you guys don't like my non-motocross videos. This is 100% current events, and I'm going to do this from time to time, and I will warn you, this is non-motocross. So if you just come for my motocross content, you clicked on the wrong video. I will see you back on another motocross video. I got Ryan Brees coming on later today. We're going to do an interview and talk about his new YouTube channel, what he's doing. But this is not a motocross video, so if you don't like those, turn it off now. Check out Nano-Extreme. This is the best pain cream ever. I love this stuff. Every time my shoulder starts hurting, I just throw it on, gone. I feel young again. It's amazing. Go over to Nano-Extreme, use code Cooksy for free shipping. Head over to the Coach Rob Network. If you're wondering about what's next for a lot of these great athletes, industry people, check out his podcast. He's got Jeremy Martin, he's got Connor Fields, and he's got Ryan Hughes. He's got all these guys who finished racing. And what next? Coach is a brilliant guy, and he's got a brilliant show, so check that out. Hit up Ride Strap to get your shirts, glasses, goggles. Ride Strap, just a really cool, patriotic company. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport, a family-owned shipping company that really delivers. Pretransport.com. And if you're into motocross memorabilia, hit up Motobilia. Coolest stuff ever. I don't do a ton of non-motocross related videos, but sometimes things really piss me off. Those of you who know who I am, you know my history with COVID. I had COVID, I had the Delta version. I was in the hospital, I just about died. I was denied antibodies, monoclonal antibodies, because they said I was too young. Meanwhile, they're gonna just let me die. Well, they had an excess of antibodies. It hit me for a long time. I still have not been the same. It has done a number on me. So yeah, I'm pretty pissed off at Fauci and the way that whole group of dirtbags handled the entire situation. The fact that this guy who promoted and funded gain of function, which is gain of death, which makes viruses worse, he funded this, arguably illegally, in Wuhan, China. They had to move it out of North Carolina because it was so dangerous. They move it to China, still gets out, still causes a worldwide pandemic that created deaths beyond a scope. And a lot of people say, oh, COVID wasn't that bad. Well, it wasn't for a lot of people, but a lot of people it was. I lost a really good friend who was healthy, a BMX racer. Joe Eugenio got COVID, passed away, totally healthy. Much like me. It was literally, in fact, I didn't get to go to his funeral because I was in the hospital with COVID. I thought I might die. And you're going to take this guy who intentionally misled people, and this is according to the documentary on Tucker Carlson's network. Thank you, Dr. Fauci. He took a Zoom panel of specialists, essentially held them and their money, their funding to whatever they were doing, and said, hey, you guys need to write articles saying this came from a wet market and not from the lab. When they all knew it came from the lab, they would intentionally misled the public, intentionally suppressed therapeutics. So the only way you can fast track a vaccine is if there are no therapeutics that show a benefit. Ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, both did. And they suppressed them. They went to freedom of speech. They went after the social media networks. A lot of you guys were silenced. I posted some stuff on Instagram, and my account was shadow banned up until about a month ago, and I was losing followers. I shot up to like 25, and it just stopped, and then it went back to 23. Now I'm back up to 30 since Trump won the election. That's not an accident. That's them going, oh boy, we can't shadow ban the people that don't go along anymore. And I'm not going to get into all the atrocities that Dr. Fauci and his people have committed on humanity. But a pre-pardon is absolutely disgusting. The fact that he cannot be held accountable for the atrocities he's committed. I mean, I'm trying to think of world people who have committed atrocities as large and caused as much damage and as much loss of life as what him and his organization have done. You'll be hard pressed to find any. And now a lot of people are saying, oh, it's because of political persecution. Let me just tell you about pre-pardons. Pre-pardons are given when someone's guilty. The only people who've received pre-pardons that I know of, Nixon. Nixon got a pre-pardon because they just needed to move on from it. But Nixon 100% was guilty in Watergate. Yeah, duh, okay, pre-pardon. Okay, move on. Carter pre-pardoned all the draft dodgers. So draft dodgers, which they were guilty. So those draft dodgers, they were guilty, but they didn't go after them. Bush, I believe the older Bush, pre-pardoned a gentleman who lied about the Iran-Contra affair. Remember when we were selling drugs into the ghettos to pay for an illegal war, which absolutely happened. They were absolutely guilty. That was a pre-pardon. If you want to know the future or what's actually happening, look at the past. History just repeats itself over and over. So if every pre-pardon that I can find, the person was 100% guilty, what makes me think that Fauci wasn't 100% guilty? Please tell me. And we all saw him lie to Congress. That was not allegedly. We saw him lie to Congress. And then they played the tape of him telling us how to get rid of our ideals, and the amount of money they made off producing an illegal vaccine, because it was illegal because they suppressed therapeutics to push this thing through. It is disastrous. And I'm not talking about just the vaccine. They created the whole thing. So to pre-pardon one of the worst human beings in my lifetime is disgusting. And that is a huge stain on the last 4 years. As if we didn't have enough, this one's bad. And to all you guys that say, oh, well, Trump's pardoning people too. Yeah, he's pardoning the people he said in his campaign that he would pardon. He never said, oh no, those January 6 people, I'm not doing anything. No, he always said, I will pardon them. They have done their time. 4 years is plenty of time for what they did. They were set up. This was a huge protest. Trump asked Pelosi to get the National Guard. She denied it. Those are facts. According to Donald Trump, that is 100% fact, and I believe him. And then you go to censorship. It was absolutely mind-boggling when our sitting president was banned from Twitter. That was crazy. Now, don't get me wrong. He still screwed up on January 6th. He should have, once they pulled his Twitter, I think he was mad and just waited a little while. Elon Musk pulled the tweets that were not posted from Donald Trump, and they said, don't go in the Capitol, settle down, don't be violent. Like, there were lots of, and don't quote me exactly on that, but those are the things that he was saying that they said, oh no, it's backwards, he's inciting them. He was not inciting them. He was trying to defuse the situation. And they didn't want him doing it on Twitter, or they didn't want it diffused at all. So if you're going to do it, you got to go through the conventional media. I stand by that was a mistake by Trump, and he walked right into a trap. But at the same time, those people, they did break the law. You can't walk in the Capitol. No matter how easy they make it, no matter if they move the gates, you cannot do that. What those people did, they deserved punishment. 4 years, that's plenty. But to call it an insurrection is just not accurate. It's a protest gone bad. Now to Elon Musk. Boy, he broke the internet yesterday with his gesture. Now, do I think he's a racist? Absolutely not. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say one action while he's super excited at an inauguration. I'm going to look at his actions. He bought Twitter, opened it up, showed us truth. He has fought to maintain a democracy to where we could have free elections and have the things that were seriously threatened the past 4 years. I will take those as non-Nazi actions. So what they're saying is he was saying, my heart goes out to you. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he is a racist. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he is. I really don't think he is.
But I can tell you I've been at many rallies with Elon Musk, who loves to cheer when President Trump says we need to send our U.S. space program to Mars. Elon Musk is a visionary.
I think that was a really, really smart guy who's super awkward, doing something that he probably regrets. I mean, have you guys ever been in the public? You get nervous, things happen. I don't think he's a guy that's been in front of a lot of crowds before like that. That's new to Elon Musk. And if you listen to him talk, I mean, he's awkward. He does weird stuff. Like I said, I can't confirm that he's not a racist or not a Nazi. In his position with this administration, he is going to use his genius to streamline our government and to make it better. Now, if he continues to do that, I don't care. Make any stupid hand signal you want. Like I said, I don't think that was racist. And with the way the past administration and the way they've called and they've cried wolf over and over about racism, they're just waiting for anything. They're laying in wait for anything that they can twist. The things that they have called Trump, MAGA people, they've made them domestic terrorists because if you have pride in your country, you're a racist. Like, it's crazy the things that they have done and the race baiting in the last few years. I'm going to go ahead and write this off as Elon just being awkward. And I hope that's the case. But yeah, I will keep an eye on it. You start doing that regularly and yelling this stuff, we're going to have a problem. But for Trump to pardon these people, it's not the same as Biden pardoning Hunter and all the people that he pardoned. He said he wouldn't do it. He said he wouldn't do it. He said that was, he'd let the justice system take its course. That's a lie. If you're going to do something, just tell us you're going to do it. I mean, we all understand. It's his son. Anyway, it's just the gaslighting that they've done for the last 4 years. You add that to the money that we have given to Ukraine, while our own natural disasters in California, North Carolina get nothing, $700. And they're giving so much money to Ukraine. The fact that we were giving that much money to Al-Qaeda, I know they weren't directly giving it to Al-Qaeda, but they acknowledged a significant amount of the money donated to Afghanistan went to terrorist groups. This is unfathomable. I can't believe that we actually did this and then we opened the borders. Yeah, we do have a border emergency now. So let me take a look at a few of the executive orders. He had an executive order to do away with birthright citizenship. I'm going to have to learn a little bit more about this one, but this is to prevent these. What happens is on the border, these pregnant ladies, when they're 9 months pregnant, they run across the border, have the baby, all of a sudden it's American citizen and everybody gets to stay. I don't agree with that, but if we have a wall and protect it a little bit better, maybe they won't be able to do that. Like Trump said, every other country, like if I'm an American citizen and my wife's in Germany and we have a baby, that baby's not a German. That baby's an American born in Germany. So, I mean, if that's the logic we're using, then that's fine. I understand it's a different time than it was in, when the country was founded. So if we have to update something, so be it. I'm not totally against it. I could go either way on this one. Thank goodness we left the WHO. They were part of all the atrocities that had to do with the pandemic. They're evil. They are evil, evil people. And they are using that as a cover to do their whole world, one world government. It is a fraud and they're horrible people. And I'm glad we're leaving the WHO. Then he signed a thing to rename the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. Sorry, this just makes me laugh. I don't really care. You can keep it the Gulf of Mexico. You can keep it the Gulf of America. I don't really care. We know where that body of water is, and it doesn't matter what it's named. Then he revoked the electric car mandate of 2030. So Biden had tried to make every car to be electric. The problem was we don't have the power grids or infrastructure to support what they wanted to do. Trump looked at it with some logic and goes, that can't happen. So we cannot do this. He's not against electric, but he's against electric mandates and forcing it on a power grid that isn't secure. And he has reclassified federal employees. You are now going to be judged on merit. None of these other DEI things or, on your, what you identify as or what your skin color looks like. The question is, can you do the job? What did you do to get the job? And what are you doing to further your job? That's it, merit. It is a merit-based society here in the United States, and it should stay that way. And I'm fine with that. He also has declared a national energy emergency. Now, this is so he can open up our natural resources, a lot of these resources that people don't want us to have. So we are dependent on other countries. This makes us independent. Yes, is it the best thing for the environment? I mean, yes, I understand we have to sacrifice a little bit of that. We can still work on, the climate and being responsible with our environment for the generations to come. But we also have to make sure that our country doesn't become slaves to other countries. We have to actually consider this the right way and do it the right way. And I think that will open this up. At least I hope it does. We're going to have to wait and see. He has paused the TikTok ban. Thank you. We don't need any more censorship. No more censorship. Censorship is awful. And TikTok has probably the fairest algorithm to push stuff out. And I think the reason that this ban got ramped up, right before the election, TikTok kind of went red. They were done with some of this liberal stuff. And it did kind of go red. So I think that is what really has forced this TikTok ban. And I'm all for, you got to have, you can't have an open platform for other countries to propagandize our, and it has to be regulated. So give them 75 more days. Let them get stuff in there to make sure that it is a fair algorithm. And that's all you want is a fair algorithm to let people's voices be heard. And as long as it's like that, I don't have a problem with it. I'm not a big fan of banning specific stuff. He has also declared a border emergency. And yeah, it is a border emergency that we have this many people coming in undocumented. We have known terrorists crossing the border with money we sent them. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call that a national emergency. He undid 78 orders from the Biden administration relating to DEI and, people getting jobs that they aren't qualified for because of who they are. And like I said, I'm all for merit. I don't care what or who you are. If you can do the job and you can do the job good, you should have the job. If you can't, get out. And he's withdrawn us from the Paris Climate Accord. Once again, thank you for distancing. We need to distance ourselves as far as possible from George Soros, Klaus Schwab, and all these people who are working towards a one world government. They are evil, evil people. They hide behind climate control and some of these other things to get their agendas across. They Trojan horse these things behind things they know we will get behind. Nobody wants to say, oh, yeah, let's piss on the environment. Nobody will say that. And they know that we're like that, so they Trojan horse these horrible things to control us behind climate control. Now, I think the way we actually move forward as a country, we all take care of our own stuff. Be responsible, work hard, be healthy so you're not dependent on the government. It is time for all of us to do our part. Yes, we have Trump, and I hope that he's going to make it possible so that our personal excellence will make our country into something beautiful again. But it has taken a serious downturn in the last 4 years, or even before that. I want to maintain what our forefathers brought over here. Like, I know it's not ever been perfect, but we can be better personally, and that's what I'm going to try and do. And yes, I am not all in or just going to blindly follow anyone. I question everything. If you can tell me you got to do something because of logic, I'm in. If you're going to tell me I have to do it because I have to do it, I'm not going to do it. I think we're onto some good stuff.